Here
it's
we go.
shitty today. I don't know. Wait, I have to change to Don. Oh, there he is. And then we have to unmute Don. He. So hello and welcome everybody to our live stream. Today we had some audio issues. Let's see, Don. Oh, it says you have to unmute yourself, Don. I hope you're all fine out there and your birdies behave. Mine two budgies are molting at the moment.
Cecil, that's my face. For some reason, you're holding on to my chin.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Jam and Jamie.
Hello. I'll just do that. Is that a bridge too far for you there, little girl, or what? Hmm? You need
That's
help?
fun.
You need help?
Pip.
Looks like you might need help. You need help? Pippa. What are you doing? Pippa. Pip. I'm guessing the angle because I can't change cameras without hitting. There you go. Did that help? Indecision is a terrible thing, Pippa. Right, Cecil? Right, Cecil? Hi, Cecil. So we're going to talk about what parrots in general and cockatoos particularly smell like and why today. Right, Cecil? Is that okay with you? Is it okay with you? No comment from the Sunflower Seed Gallery? You haven't quite made your tool there. Yeah, maybe you have. It has to get a good grip on it so he can whack me with it. You got to bend one end around. Just there he goes. So he can get a really good grip on it and whack me. Right, boy?
So let's welcome a few more chatters. Welcome to Kristen CEO and Kelly C. Cockatoo. And welcome to Ali Wall.
Hello, everybody.
So I think Eleanor won't be here today. I think she has now a cold. I've recovered, but it looks like she and her sidekick have catched something. So
well, you have to think of creative ways to tell people, something rather than saying you have a cold. Say, well, I didn't realize that leprosy comes with, sneezing and coughing, and so I didn't realize that,
Mm-hmm.
So that way you can impress your friends. Mm-hmm.
You always can impress your friends when you have a Cecil on your shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah. Impressive, aren't you, Cecil? I was having quite a laugh. I'd forgotten I hadn't done any of these, 4K videos that are 3 hours of video trying to edit in a while. And good grief, it takes a long time to take every frame and render it. So just getting it into the computer took like an hour and a half to get everything ready. And then I have to go back and edit it. But it's pretty funny. Me sitting there, because I don't have time to do this outside of being in here with them, trying to program one of these mobile HT, like a handheld transmitter for ham radio. That's hilarious because they're messing with me, and Cecil's trying to take it away from me, and I'm trying to punch a bunch of buttons in a certain order, and there's a timeout too. So when you're doing this, if you sit there too long without doing anything, it goes back to the main, and you have to start over. So
Don, little you swapped, so now you're suddenly to a 90-degree angle, so it looks like you're sitting at the wall.
I think there's something going on with StreamYard today.
Now you're fine again.
I know Judge Napolitano on his podcast was having trouble with StreamYard at one point. So
welcome to Calvin Thurston. We had already a funny Triton moment. I'm not sure if you have seen it, but Pippa did the bridge.
Yeah, she was just hanging there. And I think she would have just stayed. She'd given up. Like, I'm here and I'm going to be here the rest of the day. So
no, I wanted to do so. That's comfortable. Really, Dad.
Yeah, I don't think it was too comfortable. The way she was breathing, it didn't look all that good. So I got her disconnected and she fell over and everything was fine. So. But she had given up. Cecil, are you having fun with that? After a while, your head gets cranked in one direction. You can't get your head straightened out. Right, Cecil? Is that what you do it for, huh? I see that, Sugar. I can see the huge amount of dust that you just created, too. Yeah.
Oh, did Sugar do a rouse?
Yep, she just did a rouse. All right, I'm going to try to turn the camera around.
And the Moluccans are known for being dusty.
That is part of the reason they smell so good, but anybody have a guess why they don't stink like mammals? Any guesses out there?
Well, when it comes to mammals, usually it depends on what they are eating. So usually the ones who eat completely vegan, also they smell, or at least their poop smells a lot of better. I think they don't smell better. I think actually that mammals are stinky has a lot to do with the way they are mating.
Well, there's some truth in that for sure, but it's really gets down to one thing that mammals do that avians don't do. There is one mammal I know of that also doesn't do this, but only one that I'm aware of.
Oh, Gem and Jamie has a guess. She says no sweat glands.
Exactly. They don't have any sweat glands.
Oh, so. Kristen made the same guess, so you guys, great, done.
Yep,
Ollie Hall says clearly my YouTube was more well remembered than I was. That can be. We are so bird addicts that when we see a name or so we think like, oh yeah, the guy with the cockatoo or the guy with the African grey. We are terribly sorry for that. We also try to remember you.
Yeah, they don't have any sweat glands, and this is another reason you have to be careful about the temperatures you take them out into. They will pant a little bit. It doesn't help a lot, but they have that. They can open their wings a bit. What do you think is their major way of dealing with heat? Here's a question. What do they do to deal with heat?
So let's welcome Jocelyn Priddle meanwhile until the chat maybe gives
Hi.
some guesses. So welcome, Jocelyn. Good to see you.
Yeah, what is the number one way that parrots deal with heat?
Flying somewhere where it's cooler. Oh, German
Mm-hmm.
Jamie has the first answer. She says bathing.
Bathing is definitely, that would be, if they have a place to go get wet, they'll do that.
And then
But
Jocelyn Priddle has also an answer. She says mouth breath.
yeah, they do a little of that. It doesn't, that they'll start that way, but there's still something that is major that they do. Actually, humans do it too. You look for shade. They move into the shade. That's their number one thing, because while bathing is better, it's not always available. But if they have a way to get wet, they'll do that first. But since most of the time you can find some shade, that's what they do. They go and find the shade. And they try to find the coolest spot in the shade that they can. So
Yawn.
usually in
Shiggy yawn. I just saw Shiggy yawning.
oh that
That
little
was
girl.
sweet. And I see there back there is Jasmine having a nap.
Yep. She just
That was
entered the
his
she
big
just
sleep.
became the first Moluccan to decide that she's going to use the water bottle consistently. So we have only two holdouts now. Sugar, who will drink out of it if I hold it for her, and Mander just flat out refuses. So he just won't do it. But so I may have to keep keep water in there part of the day and just change it frequently for him, and keep trying. Stop that now. Not when you start nipping at me. You're gonna calm down. Come on, calm down. Calm down. You're getting too wound up. Wants my attention. That's all.
So, do we also have a Lucy in the room?
Yeah.
There's the loose goose.
Kind of
So, and
hiding.
then we haven't seen KK yet. He's also here with us. He's sitting with Don and KK. With Don and Cecil. KK is sitting with Don and Cecil.
The other way you said it, he'd have to be beside himself.
Sweetie.
Which is possible, knowing this bird. He could do that. He's kind of special, aren't you? Aren't you, big guy?
What a cuddler.
So what gives them that distinctive odor? Now, there are some parrots that have a strong odor, which usually is not offensive, but it's strong, like Amazons. And the reason Amazons have that is because they heavily use the uropygial gland, which is located at the end, towards the end of the tail, up on top of the body. They get the oil from there and they spread it around on their feathers. Cockatoos have that too, but they don't do it much, just a tiny bit. In fact, when you have cockatoos, whoa, don't fall. When you have cockatoos in captivity, you have to watch that gland to make sure it doesn't get swollen. But sometimes they will just flat ignore it. Cockatoos get the smell they have from that semi-plume that produces that powder down, often described as like a nutty or vanilla smell to it. there's a group on Facebook. I can't remember the name of it, and I don't do much on Facebook. But there's a group on there that's just devoted to people who smell their cockatoos. So I was horrified when I saw that. I thought that was an awfully odd thing to do, but where people just mainly go in there and talk about smelling their birds. But
So we have a question from Jocelyn Criddle. She wants to know how's the weather and if you ever get tornadoes.
no, we don't get tornadoes, but we get a lot of wind. Today, looking out, you can't really see that. You can see out with your eyes, but not with the phone, with the blocker I have on the window to keep the UV out. But right now, you can see the leaves on that oak tree out there are just really blowing. I mean, they're going to blow off the tree. Probably getting gusts of up to 70 miles an hour right now. That's why we're not outside. It's warm enough, but it's way too dusty. I would imagine we're up in the AQI is up in the 200s right now. So if it stays like this, we'll have air quality in the 400s or 500s today, probably 450, somewhere in that range. Doesn't you laughing about that? It's not really that funny. We'd be outside if it wasn't for that.
Yeah, but outside he wouldn't be with you because Babalu comes out. At least at first.
Yeah, at first. He comes out later.
Yeah.
I'm going to start introducing him.
He also wants to be out sometimes.
He's eventually going to be out there with everybody.
Mm.
He's getting so much better about being outside, so he doesn't even bother Jasmine when she's out there.
Yep. Bob is such a good boy outside. We have a further comment by Kristen saying, I was just writing then, look for shade. I'm glad you didn't move to Arizona, Don. The birds wouldn't be able to go outdoors as much. It's already way too hot.
Yeah, depends on the area you're in. I mean, we're only a half hour away from Death Valley, so it does get hot here. Last year the hottest day was 115. I think the hottest day in Death Valley was 134. So that little section over there
like everywhere in the US, you probably have to some degree issues with the weather when you have cockatoos and want them to have outside. Since in the north, it's probably rather cold winter, and then in the south, you have the desert-like structures, probably always something. Like you have to go really, really south on the continent to have perfect weather. Like I'm not sure, but maybe Costa Rica is where I think they are kind of tropical already, and there live the toucans. So maybe it's also great for cockatoos. Not sure, but might be. Has some rainforest.
Equatorial areas are probably best, yeah, but
The thing is, the equator is even far down. I think that's around Brazil somewhere. Northern Brazil. I think Costa Rica is still north.
Indonesia, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, these guys are from Indonesia. I just wonder how far south you have to go to get, whether you basically can say it's perfect or not perfect, but pretty decent for having cockatoos outside. Like you can have outdoor aviary and have them there for most of the year or so.
It's not good for people in those areas, but because the bugs get us. I mean,
it depends on how you are. I mean, for you it might be not that bad. You always warm would be great, wouldn't it?
I'm a mosquito magnet, though, so it wouldn't be long before I died of malaria or something down there.
Well, that's something. When you see the people in Africa, so they all have these tendency to get that certain blood disease. But the thing is, that tendency is also made so they are not likely to get malaria from the mosquitoes. So that is actually not something for them. It's actually not something bad, but something good. So just in some rare cases, it actually gets worse. So it doesn't carry enough blood.
Lots of bugs. Lots of bugs.
Yeah.
I've always joked the reason I don't
As
go to Florida is because
as Middle European, you are immune to absolutely nothing.
I've always joked that I don't go to Florida because the mosquitoes are the same size as helicopters. Um,
Hmm.
I had a friend when I was a
To
kid.
be honest, I'm not sure if there's really a mosquito plague in Costa Rica. Never heard about that. Sounds a little
Usually,
bit
if
like
there,
Paris.
usually if there's, it's hot and humid, you're going to have mosquitoes. But what are you doing? Although we had them in where we were in California, and it was hot and dry. So explain that to me. I didn't get it, but
Hmm.
we did have some
So,
cooling water because it rained, I guess.
meanwhile, we have
Pep, pep.
Spirit Meta here, who says hi, Burbs, in chat. So, welcome, Spirit.
Hello, Spirit Matter.
So, I think we stopped at that fancy Facebook group with people who like smelling at their parrots.
Yeah. Another thing is, if you look at most mammals, they don't spend a lot of time cleaning themselves, and parrots do. So the only exception to that is if they're not being kept well, their caretakers aren't doing a good job. But if they get sprayed with water every day, and or at least every other day, and if they got good food and their feather condition is good, they're going to smell good. So and their skin smells good too. It does have a nice aroma to it without anything else added like feather dust. But the nature of feathers in themselves makes them smell good. So now there's some things that might make them smell off a little bit. If you give them turmeric, which is in a lot of food from India, it can cause some odor problems. Certain foods can do that. Not well. It's kind of like beets with humans. If about oh, 4 out of 5 people who eat beets they're going to have, their urine is going to turn looks like blood red. Um, so it's the same with the smell of turmeric. Some parrots will exude that smell and it will be a little off-putting, but if other ones it won't affect. So and that's odd because that's in the same species, So you might have one number. That's how I found out about turmeric the hard way because I made some mash that had some Indian flavoring. They liked it a lot, but some of them came up with a horrible stench. So food has a little to do with it. And that's not something they would normally find in their environment. So Cecil, that's my head you're banging. Little head. He's literally a headbanger because he keeps banging my head. What are you saying over there, big boy? Rat, 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 rat.
So, welcome to Honey Baldridge. Honey would like to know where the other bird sounds are coming from.
The other what?
Bird sounds,
Oh, yeah.
the background
That's.
bird sound.
I just have a background sound of bird sounds. That's what I have, like the tropical sounds of birds that I put in the background.
We introduced that, I think, a couple of live streams ago, and most of the viewers found it relaxing, me myself included.
Pip, Pip, what are you doing? Hi, baby. Hello, Pippa.
Mm.
She's a smart girl. She may form bridges occasionally, like she did earlier, but She knows not to get too close to KK because KK
Mhm.
just doesn't like that the yellow crown. So
Yeah, the yellow crust issue. I think
yeah, the
he interprets it as a warning sign.
yeah. Well, Triton alert! Triton alert!
Hmm. The first new words he learned was the bobbird. After a month staying at the sanctuary, he was saying in a really, really, yeah, not scared, but cautious way, like the bobbird. So he already made an account with Babalu, had some opinion about him, and learned to say his name in English.
Yeah, he learns
Yeah,
quickly. This one, he picks things up
yes.
really well.
Yeah, he's smart and he likes to speak English.
Now, another thing about the not sweating, the reason I mean, humans have a natural scent, but it's when you sweat, it attracts all kinds of microbes. So you get all this bacteria and fungus and all this stuff that people mistakenly use things like antiperspirant. Why would you take this is a natural release of your body, like under your arms. It helps to release pressure on your system. And so why would you clog it with a bunch of aluminum so that won't work? Yeah, it might keep the sweating down and the bacteria down, so you don't have the the scent that comes from it. But it's also not good for you because if you let's say that if you start to have high blood pressure, it's going to get worse because you did that. But they don't have that problem. So their microbiome, what they have on their skin, is just a lot more congenial as far as smell goes. So, when you're smelling them, you are not smelling a bunch of bacteria. Are you sure? What did you say? What did you say, KK? You said something. Hmm? Not going to say it again? No? It's going to scratch your head. Huh? Hello. They all look pretty sleepy. Oh, someone's preening up there now, and Cecil's still whacking my head. You having fun up there, Lewis? Did I call your name? Oh, I did. So that's basically it. Those are the things that make it so that they don't stink. Besides being terribly clean animals, they're constantly cleaning themselves. What kind of bird? Don't hit the phone with that, Cecil. Come on. Cecil? No, no blinding techniques. Okay. Off my shoulder. Come on. Off the shoulder because you're whacking me on the glasses. You can't do that. You're getting too wound up. Calm down. Cecil. Good boy. Now, you be calm. Calm down. You get carried away sometimes, don't you, big boy? Yeah, you do. Good boy, Cecil. Good boy. I'm giving him a secondary reinforcer saying good boy for just sitting there and being good. Quiet. It won't last long, but the kind of thing you want to reinforce. Bird? Are you a bird? Yeah? Yeah? You are? Well, I can try to turn the camera around. Camera, front.
What?
I need I still need to get these. So we keep reminding these people they need to make a button to just switch between two cameras. Just a switch button. Well, I tried to get you in the picture, but you walked up my arm. Kind of hard to put you in there. Well, I know, but you walked up my arm. Uh-huh. He's chattering away at me, almost silently. What are you doing? Yeah. Yeah. Good boy. Good boy. That's a damn good boy. There you go, KK bird. So now you're all the way up on my hand, so I can't get you in the picture. That was funny trying to get something done and play with them at the same time. And if I were to put a ham radio in your hands and give you a sheet to tell you how to program it, you probably wouldn't be able to do it in a room full of cockatoos. I had these two bugging me most of the time, but they weren't the only ones. Jasmine was getting involved. Pippa was getting involved. Weren't you, Pip? And this one actually spoke. I'm going to get that in the video. He actually said hello. Didn't you? No, you won't admit to that, will you? No. Not to Cecil. He won't admit to that.
Gesundheit.
Pippa, what are you doing up there? Hey, KK. Hi, KK bird. KK bird? Yeah? Oh, sorry. What happened? What happened there, big boy? Oh, you dropped it? Oh, yeah, you don't like dropping it. You blaming me for it? I didn't do anything. I didn't. I didn't do anything, Cecil. You dropped it on your own. Is there some reason you're scratching my arm? KK. What are you doing scratching my arm? Oh, now you're
So,
going to
hello
whack
and
my arm.
welcome to Warm Fuzzy Vibes. Good to see you. And both Warm Fuzzy Vibes and Honey Baldridge like the background sounds of chirping birdies.
Cool. Yeah, I like them too. Cecil. Who else is active? Well, Lucy's about half awake. Pippa's watching down here with that look like I wish I could come over. Well, you know what happens if you come over while he's here. You come over. She comes over later, don't you?
Gesundheit.
Are you gonna mess with my hand again? What are you doing? KK. KK bird. The KK bird. I know I've said it before, but the reason I use the word bird after everything when I call their names, is because I'm going to say good bird when they do something that I like to give them a secondary reinforcer. So bird needs to kind of be part of their name. But if I say Lucy bird, she will look at me. She just did that. she will look at me, but the other ones won't even pay attention to it because it isn't their full name. So, right, Cecil Bird? Cecil Bird. All right, guys, you're both in position, so they're difficult to get with this camera. I'm gonna try to switch cameras. It's not gonna work, but I'll try. Hey. What are you doing? What are you doing? A big boy. You being a KK bird? Okay, bird. Bunch of party poopers up here.
Mm. They are really party poopers. Oh my gosh, just sitting there. Kind of trolling our audience into thinking they do always nothing, which isn't true. The moment you turn up the phone, they start eating birds.
Jasmine's been really busy lately. She's been doing a lot of gymnastics. She
Mm-hmm.
just roused over there. And I've got the camera. Unfortunately, I didn't have the right camera setting for that. I have an ultra wide, and it should be just on the back camera. She did a rouse, and now she's cleaning her tail feathers and the feathers under her beak. She's been terribly busy lately. I don't know what's up with her. She's just been busy girl. She's definitely the most demanding bird. She comes up and demands to be preened. Doesn't always work out well for her, but does it, Jasmine? Jasmine, Jazzy Jazzbird. I'm talking about you. That's an interesting response. I seem to get mostly from the pink birds, the Moluccans, or Serum cockatoos to be exact. If you talk to them, they'll flick their feathers back and forth.
Sweet.
She said, "You're talking to me, but I know I can't come down there until KK is out of the room." She can, though. She just has to stay. She can't get any closer than about a foot and a half away. And then he starts paying attention. What are you doing over there? Get to the back of the bus. That's where you belong. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In KK's mind, anyway. Now she's gone to sleep. She was paying attention, but she's given up now. Lucy's asleep. Well, until I said her name. Hi, Luce. You're gonna put drops in your eyes again, kid. Or your right eye, anyway. Yeah, bugging her right now. So somewhere over in France, someone has screwed up and they don't have a perfume that's Eau de Cockatoo. Probably be a big seller. If you've been in a room that's got a lot of cats or a lot of dogs, you know what I mean. you get a distinctive smell that isn't quite so good. But with these guys, the more you have, the better the room smells. And the distinctive advantage of being outside is if there's any mosquitoes, they can't get close because the dust keeps them away. And it's rare for them to get things like some of the other birds, the birds in the wild to get mites and that kind of thing. But with powder down birds, that's not likely. And there's enough powder on a lot of parrots to keep away things like that. I wish I had it. Then I could go into the Amazon basin without coming out with a disease, And there's worse things than malaria. Mm-hmm. Pippa's getting along great in the aviary with all the other birds. And as you can see, she's not causing any trouble in here. Lucy's just being Lucy, which is pretty much standoffish unless she comes over to me. Once in a while, her and Cecil will get in the preening position, but she's so sensitive, it's easy for him to upset her. She loves to be preened, but she's got such sensitive feathers that they have to be especially careful with her. Right, Lucy?
The goose.
Her eye looks better now.
Mm.
What are you doing?
Goose, are you about to come over?
Looks like
Nope.
it.
Maybe?
What are you doing there, kid? Lucy, what you doing?
Mm.
Lucy. Pretty bird?
She's a pretty bird.
Pippa, what are you getting in all these weird positions for today?
Mm.
I have to wonder about the Pip. Hmm?
And welcome to Lisa Banerjee.
Hi, Lisa.
So let's see. Cecil, can you say hi to Lisa? Oh, is he about to come over? No.
Cecil is busy, but he did actually say hello yesterday, day before yesterday.
So Cecil is sitting with Dawn, training KK. And Lisa, thank you so much. Lisa just donated $20 to us. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you very much. Thank you. And what are you doing down there on the floor? What are you doing on the floor? Are you on my shoe? You want to lift? Taking the elevator, huh? Yesterday she didn't take the elevator. She just flew right into my face. Didn't you, girl?
We had just a question by Kristen. He says, because I joined as a member on Patreon, should I be watching through Patreon or can I continue to watch on YouTube? I answered so far that the specific videos will then for her be available on Patreon. I'm not sure if the public videos are both published on Patreon or YouTube.
Usually they're both there. Sometimes I'll put something on Patreon I don't put on YouTube and vice versa, but most of the time. And then, for members I'm doing this new members video, which is going slower than I would like due to some problems with Apple not updating their darn Final Cut. So, but that'll be on Patreon for only members, and it'll be on YouTube for members only too. So.
Exactly.
And that will not be released to the public at all. So I will put some clips in there for the public because a lot of the public likes 8-second, 12-second videos. But this will be a longer one.
So have an occasional look on Patreon for new videos to be released.
Yeah, it's supposed to notify you too, so you should be notified when I put them up.
Well, if you have Patreon on your phone, if you use it over PC or so, I'm not sure if you get notified. But that's true. When you have it on your phone, also you get notified. That's true. And the live streams are on YouTube. They are not. I think there's no possibility to stream them via Patreon. So the live stream is usually available on YouTube, and I think on Facebook it is streamed as well. The only thing is on Facebook, I cannot comment on Facebook. So I sometimes see some comments on Facebook, but most people comment on YouTube anyway.
Yeah, and we could be broadcasting on X, but you have to be a member to do that. So they want you to pay them $120 a year to be able to do that. No, it's not worth it.
Let's say if Elon starts to pay taxes, we might consider to pay him something.
Maybe, yeah.
I can say that I live in Germany.
There aren't too many bird people on X anyway. It's mostly a political thing or news, When something bad happens in the world, then you can go there to see the latest videos of the earthquakes and that kind of stuff. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah? Trying to get in my pocket or break the zipper? What are you doing? Hi, Lucy. Yeah, and Instagram has some weird thing. In order to do a live stream on Instagram, you have to go up there, then you have to get a number, a code, and then you have to put the code in, and you've got like 5 minutes to do it. So we can't go to Instagram because I'd have to have the laptop set up right outside to code everything the minute we're doing it, and I don't like doing that. So.
Jem and Jamie just donated $10 to us, so thank you so much. And I'm reading her message. She's saying, my fiance smells my hair after I've been with the birds and says, you smell like a bird.
Well, that's a compliment, huh?
That's I think so too. So thank you very much. And you also get the video.
Thank you. You know, KK is going to chew up some paper towels just because.
Is that KK?
That's the KK.
Oh, and where's Lucy?
There's Pip. Lucy's right here.
Oh, Pretty Bird came just over. Oh, I see.
Yeah, see, she's figured out if she sneaks her way, or just she goes along over here, and then she gets on there, then she
Looks like
sneaks
the
down.
girls have taken over.
She sneaks her way next to me. She does
Mm,
that,
that's
then
sweet.
and he doesn't go after her.
It's great when everybody gets along. Pippa, yeah, I know you like the Bob corner.
He's noticed
And
her over there now. That's that look that he says somebody's not where I like him to be.
yeah, he's being Dawn, be careful. There's a trident next to you.
No Triton trouble, huh, buddy? He's got a new thing now too, where to give him his medicine, because you can see he chews his feathers. Believe me, he'll chew them all off. I've seen pictures of what it looks like. He hasn't done that here, but he's hard to get
Mm,
the medicine in. So here's the way it has to go now. I have to go over to his cage in the morning and say good morning as I'm turning the lights on, and then I have to look at him and see what kind of a mood he's in, and I can look at him and tell him if he's in a mood where he wants to come out or not. So then I go and do the other birds until I see him looking like he's getting interested in the world, like he's not half asleep anymore. And then I pet him until he sticks his foot out and he climbs up on my hand. And I put him on the table in the middle of the room and I pet him there. And then after about 2 or 3 minutes, I give him the syringe, the oral syringe of the medicine, and then I pet him for another couple of minutes, and then I have to put a little towel over him, which he doesn't mind at all, and put him back in his cage, and then pet him in there for a bit. He wants that whole routine every time I take him out. He's not the only one with a routine, but he's the one with the longest routine. Snowball has to come out too. I mean, he'll take the medicine, but if you don't take him out, he gets upset. Don't do anything like offer him some treat, something, because then he's truly upset because he wants to be out. He wants to get held for a little bit and then put back. What? What did you say? There he goes.
sweet. So let's
It took
see.
a.
We have more comments.
Go ahead.
Lisa Banerjee says, bless my chat friends and families, and of course our animals. I agree. Our animals are the best. And Kristen has, I only financially support the best channels. This is the best channel. I love this channel because everything you say, you can back with the most recent science. Oh, thanks for that compliment. I think Don really
No,
values
thank you.
that because he is really into getting the most recent science and looks everything up and is in contact with vets and has absolved some training in ABA. So yeah, thank you for that. Very value that.
Yeah,
And
thank
thanks
you.
for supporting us. It's always good to know we have you guys supporting the birds here in the sanctuary.
That is something I failed to mention about smell. When cockatoos specifically, most parrots are like this too. There should be no smell to their poop. Now, after it's been out for half an hour, it will have attracted a bunch of bacteria and that kind of thing. But when it first comes out, there should be no smell to it. So if you're getting a consistent smell over a couple of days um, to the poop, then you need to go to a vet. But that's not an easy one to cure. What's 9 times out of 10, what the vet's going to say is, well, let's give them an antibiotic, um, just to be sure. It's just because they can't tell. Um, gram stains are not conclusive, but sometimes they can tell you something. So sometimes you can see that you've got something like a fungal infection, yeast infection or something. So, but they're not conclusive according to Dr. Young, and he worked at the Crest facility with the Zoological Society for 7 years. So he said that gram stains, which are supposed to tell you about infections internally in the colon, uh, they didn't find them adequate at the Crest Center, and I mean they're doing them right there, So, but sometimes it can tell you E. coli infections. It can catch those. There are some things that can catch, but still, you need to do it anyway, just to see if there's something that you can catch. Otherwise, you have to go with a general antibiotic or an antifungal or something. And that's always spooky, but you do what you got to do, right, big boy? Like that dance? We could put some music to that.
Absolutely. Don, were you referring already to Honey Baldridge's comment, or shall I read it to you?
Oh, read it to me, please.
It's saying, Don, you were talking about certain diseases. How about the bird D's, capital D, like psittacosis and influenza?
Influenza. Well, psittacosis is a type of chlamydia. You're going to see symptoms with that similar to as if they had a cold. There'll be problems with the feces. Be sneezing, sneezing a lot. That's another sign. You'll notice they're not as active, that kind of thing. But as far as influenza, they don't normally get flu-like vitamins. They don't get flu-like diseases. You don't. Yeah, this is his. I don't like her sitting next to your routine.
Then we also got a funny comment from Calvin Thurston saying, well, you know what they say, Don? Happy bird, happy fingers.
He's getting a little fired up. I better watch. Yeah, I know, KK. He's yelling about Pippa being next to me now.
Mm-hmm.
Cecil, I know you want me to pet you. Well, it's time to go, so I'll give you a little petting. He's over here tapping my arm with his foot. That behavior that
Cecil,
he has.
Cecil says thank you with his eyes, I guess, to the people who donated today and to all of our supporters.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. And we will see you on Wednesday, and maybe we'll talk a little about I'm not sure, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about disease because it's hard to get in something pertinent in just a minute or two. So we'll at least answer that question in more detail on Wednesday. So anyway, guys, thanks for being here. Thank you, Amy, for moderating, and Cecil for constantly getting my attention right now.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back, and let's hope Eleanor is curing soon. So best wishes to Eleanor and her sidekick Sunny. And thanks for the live stream, Don.
You're most welcome, and we will see you guys on Wednesday.
Science knowledge only adds to the excitement, the mystery, and the awe of a flower.
Evidence is evidence. It's public. Everybody can look at the evidence and assess it, and eventually, if there's enough evidence, come to the same conclusion.
The Chloe Sanctuary for Parrots and Cockatoos, a non-profit charity dedicated to the empowerment of captive parrots and public awareness.